this video, we are going to be going through the answers to the study guide for Chapter 1, Part 1. Make sure you've already completed the study guide and have your work on a separate piece of paper so you can check your answers. If you can do all these problems correctly, you will get an A on that test. So make sure you are following along and ask your teacher questions for ones you do not understand. So let's start with number 1 right here. In which number does the 8 represent 10 times the value represented by the 8 in 28,430? So we're looking at this 8. It is in the 10,000s place. Sorry, it is not. It is in the thousands place. So we want something that represents 10 times more. So we're going to jump one place to the left to be 10 times more. So I know we're going to be looking for a number that has an 8 in the 10,000s place. So let's check our answers. 83,267 has an 8 in that 10,000s place. So it's looking like a good answer. But let's check the rest. 32,876 does not. I'll cross that one out. 73,908 does not. It has a 7 in that 10,000s place. And 18,534 does not. It has a 1 in that 10,000s place. So my answer is A. For the next question, we're going to multiply 318 by 24. 318 times 24. So we're going to start here. 4 times 8 is 32. We're going to put down our 2, carry our 3. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 4 times 3 is 12. Make sure you're checking your work with mine to make sure you have the same numbers in the same places. I went ahead and put my 0. Don't forget the 0. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's add it up. 6 plus 7 is 13. 3 plus 3 is 6. So our answer is 7,632. Remember, if you got the answer wrong, go back and check your work to see where you messed up. Number 3, look at the pattern. 5 times 10 to the 0 power is 5. 5 times 10 to the first power is 50. 5 times 10 to the second power is 500. 5 times 10 to the third power is 5,000. Using that pattern, what would 5 times 10 to the sixth power mean? So I want you to look at that pattern, but I also want you to just remember, when we're doing this, we carry our 5 over. So we're going to write our 5. And then we're going to look at that exponent. It's a 6. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And you're going to get 5 million. Number 4, which exponent will make this equation true? 10 to the what power would give me 10,000? Let's count our zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So I know that 10 to the 4th power would equal 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So my answer is 4. 10 to the 4th power. Number 5, Sam planted 18 types of trees in his yard. He planted 28 of each type. So how many trees did he plant? Let's remember that word each is super important. We're going to multiply 28 times 18. 8 times 8 is 64. 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. If I add that 6. Let's add the 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them up. 504 is our answer. 28 of each type, so 18 times 28 gives me 504. What is the value of 7 in 217,536? This 7 is in the thousands place, so the value is 7,000, or you could have written that out in words as 7,000. Evaluate the following. 4 times 10 to the 4th. Remember what we did earlier. We said 4 and add 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40,000. Number 8. Paul wrote the number 2,387,460. Kevin wrote the number 439,745. The 7 in Paul's number represents how much as the digit of the 7 in Kevin's number. So if I look, the digits of Paul's number is 7,000, and the 7 in Kevin's number is 700. I can see that 7,000 is 10 times bigger or 10 times more than the digit 7 and 7,000. I could line those up a little bit better for us to really see it. As you can see, that 7 is one more to the left than this one. So this 7 is 10 times bigger. So Paul's is 10 times bigger than Kevin's 7. Number 9, which expression is equivalent to 100,000? Let's count our zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 zeros, so I know it is C, 10 to the 5th power. Kim made 24 copies of a 17-page book. How many copies did she make? I'm on number 10. Let's work it out. 24 times 17. Remember, you should be checking your work with mine. 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16. Add your 0, don't forget. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. Now we add. 8 plus 0 is 8, 6 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 2 is 4. Remember, if I ever go too fast, pause the video and check your work. Our answer for number 10 is 408. And we're going to be multiplying again for number 11. Let's work it out over here so we have enough room. We've got 157 times 43. As you can tell, you're going to have a lot of multiplication work on your test. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Put your 0. I'm going to cross out my carryovers. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2, 5, 6. Let's add it up. 7 plus 8 is 15. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Bring down our 6. 157 times 43 is 6,751. For number 12, it's asking us what the expanded form of 534,089 is. So let's go ahead and remember how we're writing those. We're going to start with the 5 times 100,000 because it's in the hundred thousands place, plus the 3 times 10,000 because it's in the 10,000s place, plus the 4 times 1,000 because it's in the thousands place, plus I'm going to skip the hundreds. You could put 0 times 100, but we don't need to. The 8 times 10 because it's in the tens place, plus the 9 times 1 because it's in the ones place. If you did want to add the hundreds in there, you would say 0 times 100. Either way is fine. All right, number 13, consider the equation. 9 times 2 in parentheses times 6 equals 9 times 2 times 6 in parentheses. Megan asserts that the equation is true. Which property of multiplication is this based on? So if I see I've got the 9 and the 2 together here, but the 2 and the 6 together here. So it's leaving out the 6 and it's leaving out the 9. That's showing me that the 2 is associating with the 9 here, but with the 6 here. And if I know it's changing the parentheses, it's the associative property. We also want to notice that both sides of the equation only have one set of parentheses, so it can't be the distributive property. It can't be the identity property because nothing's keeping its identity. And it's not the commutative property because that has no parentheses. Number 14, consider the equation 16 times 1 equals 16. If she says the equation is true, what property is it based on? Distributive, we know it isn't because the distributive is where you give out certain numbers. The associative, it's not because it doesn't look like the one above. Identity is possible because the 16 is keeping its identity. Remember, your identity is who you are. So if we multiply the 16 times 1, it equals 16. It gets to keep its identity. Now, commutative property, if it said 16 times 1 equals 1 times 16, then we flip-flop those factors, that would work. But it doesn't say that. So it is the identity property. Let's remember that with number 13. I'm going to go back and think about that for a second. Change the grouping order is our associative song. So you should remember that all you're doing here is changing that grouping order. Number 15. I'm actually going to skip to number 16. We'll come back to number 15. Consider the equation 3 times 2 plus 4 equals 3 times 2 plus 3 times 4. So for this one, what property? As you can see, there are 2 sets of parentheses, and the 3 has been given to the 2 in this one, and the 3 has been given to the 4 in this one. So that 3 has been distributed to the 2 and the 4. That tells me that it is the distributive property. Remember, commutative is flip-flop those factors. Identity is when you multiply by 1 or add 0. And associative is when you're changing the grouping order, which we really didn't do because we distributed the 3. So our answer is A. All right, let's go back up to number 15. Look at the population of the 2 cities. We have Fairview with 683,728 people, and Baytown with 739,278 people. 739,278. It's been a long day. The place value of the digit 3 in Fairview is 10 times the place value of the digit 3 in Baytown. Let's check and see if that is true or false. The digit 3 in Fairview is 10 times bigger than the digit 3 in Baytown. As we can see, the 3 in Fairview is actually 10 times smaller than the 3 in Baytown. So we know that has to be false because in reality, it would be 10 times smaller, or 1/10 of. Let's check the next one. The place value of the digit 2 in Baytown, we're going to the bottom one first, is 10 times the value of the digit 2 in Fairview. So for this one, you can see that Baytown is 10 times bigger. It's in the 200s place, and Fairview's in the 20s place, in the 10s place. So that tells me that the 2 in the hundreds place is 10 times bigger than the 2 in the tens place. So that one is true. Let's look at this last one. The place value of the 7 in Baytown is 1/10 the place value of the 7 in Fairview. So we could figure this out for what it really is, but I know 1/10, they have to be next to each other. These are nowhere near each other, so I know it's false for that reason. Let's look for more reasons it's false. It says Baytown is 1/10 or smaller. We know that Baytown is not smaller than Fairview, so it can't be right for that reason either. And then it's also saying 1/10. This would be, 1/10, 100th, 1,000. So this 7 is actually 1,000th the value of the other 7. So that's definitely false. So you should have false, true, false. That is the end of your study guide. Make sure you ask your teacher questions if you have any. And look forward to your test on Friday.